And it's great to talk about it broad strokes because there are pieces that are going to fit for each individual. Like some people are really going to need to completely restructure their environment. You know, like change relationships and change houses and change jobs, and don't do that like, you know, the first week. It's great to not make any super major decisions like right after ceremony, but just let it unfold. But oftentimes that's what happens. The natural unfolding is like now you come out of an awakening experience, you come out different. And you were resonating with your environment in a particular way before. And through that awakening experience, you may now be resonating in a different way in that environment, and where you're at now, there's not a resonance, there's a little bit of a dissonance. So maybe over time that kind of re-equilibrates, and maybe over time the environment totally shifts to help you continue where you're resonating at, or continue supporting your choices if the environment's not supporting the new you, so to speak, that unfolds over time. That's kind of further down the road. But it's also super important to recognize that even in the midst of that dissonance, there can be patience, there can be faith, there can be compassion. Just let that process unfold over time. More immediately, I like staying on dieta. And I think it's really helpful for people to stay on dieta. So particularly, you know, that's a term that is usually applied to ayahuasca ceremonies, like being on dieta, prepping for the ceremony. So there are certain food restrictions, there are certain food eliminations in prepping for the most optimally successful experience, and there's certain energetic preparations. So, you know, I've seen it happen, not so much for me because I've known that wasn't a line I wanted to cross, but for a lot of my friends, having sex with somebody like day after ceremony or like a few days after ceremony, that's a great way to fall flat on your face or get really sick. I've seen that happen so often because you're super energetically sensitive. So much has been cleared out. So much of what the psychedelic experience is just like opening up the channels for shit to get out of the way. Stuff that was psychically held, energetically held, physically held. Now you're just like this more crystalline kind of vessel, or like a painting, like a new painting that you haven't let that oil sit yet. And then while that oil's still fresh, you're smearing it around, or you're throwing it in your backpack, or you're having other people like add their stuff to it. That's gonna change